So I wanted to jump on. I wanted to chat about weight loss plateaus. I also want to answer your questions about cortisol balance, about anxiety, fatigue, mood problems, bloating, swelling, inflammation, and I have to do my makeup. So let's multitask together. If we've never met, I'm Marissa Fay. I'm a functional nutritionist, which a lot of people hear that term and have no idea what the actual fuck that is. So a functional nutritionist is essentially functional medicine practicing, meaning we're looking at how do we optimize your body? How do we optimize your hormones? We're not looking at things like a doctor to diagnose a disease and then give you a prescription. We're looking at things for like, what is really going to make you feel incredible and get your body working incredibly well? And I happen to focus on gut health and hormones in particular for women. One of my specialty areas is weight and inflammation, but also women who are super stressed, women who are anxious, women who are puffy everywhere, women who are inflamed. Like, these are my girls. So is that you? I'm just curious. Am I speaking to you? And of course, I do this work because that was me. Okay. And I really discovered these strategies and tools that I use with my clients. I've been practicing as a board certified holistic nutritionist now for almost 8 years, and next year, I think. Yeah. So I've had my business 7 years. I've been practicing with all of the education and training I have for a little bit less than that, but focused on health and helping people just like you get out of the muck, get out of the weeds of feeling stuck when it comes to your health. And so I want to open up the line of conversation with you today, and I want to help. So what questions do you have? What can I help you with? How are you feeling? What symptoms are you dealing with that you're like, what the heck is this? How do I get out of this hole? And I also want to talk a little bit about weight loss plateaus, or the inability to lose weight, because I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of personal experience and clinical, meaning professional experience on this. And I think a lot of the information out there is absolute trash garbage. And I'm putting on makeup right now because I have to record a couple of videos for some of the stuff I'm sending out for Black Friday. I want to walk you through exactly what you're going to be getting, because my offer is incredible. And the price is even better. And there's the option to upgrade and include a 24-hour cortisol test and one-on-one visit with me. So it's just so good. But I'm jumping on video to record a couple of things because I feel like it's easier for me to communicate how awesome something is and answer your questions when I'm on video. So, okay. So I saw somebody comment, I'm very tired and don't have energy. I'm really curious. What have you done so far? Funny username, by the way, hot sausage. What have you done so far to help yourself, right? What have you done to try to improve your energy levels and your tiredness? Have you done anything, or are you really step one, baby steps? Because I can share some helpful thoughts for you, but it's really important for me to know, where are you in this process? Because some of us are I'm not even really drinking much water, and I eat one meal a day and have no appetite, right? And so that kind of person needs something different, you know what I mean? So I really specialize in working with women who have tried some things, which doesn't mean I can't give tips to somebody who hasn't tried things, but it's just if somebody's going to pay me and buy my courses or work one-on-one with me or get in the weeds with me on their health issue, do functional lab testing like gut testing, hormone testing, all that, cortisol testing, I don't want to take somebody who literally has tried nothing. I love talking to you here, but you know what I mean? Cause you need a lot more hand holding usually, and a lot more support. And I try to really have offers that are priced in a way where it's for the person who's no, tell me what I need to do. And yeah, give me a place where I can talk to you and get support, but I got this. I don't need a lot of hand holding. So I'm curious. I don't think I got a response, but I'm curious if anybody who's joining has questions that I can help you with as a board certified holistic nutritionist and a practitioner in functional medicine. What's going on with your health? What symptoms are you dealing with? What questions are on your mind? What comments is your doctor saying that feels like gaslighting, that you want another perspective on, a non-medical perspective, right? But a functional health, holistic nutrition perspective. Iron is low. Yeah. So first of all, iron assessment, we have to look at more than just total iron and ferritin. So just know that. I see a lot of people it's a really incomplete picture of what's going on with their iron. and like their doctor hasn't run a comprehensive full iron panel. So I sometimes run blood work for my clients, especially clients in the US. I can run stuff like that. So I'm seeing other questions come in, which I love and I will get to. But with low iron, the first question I'm going to have for you is, are you eating red meat? Are you eating, and are you eating a lot of gluten containing grains or products? A lot of breads, a lot of baked goods, and it doesn't even have to be a lot. It could just be every day, right? Are you eating those foods? Because that can help explain some of where it's coming from. So again, perspective on, are you in kind of some of the beginner steps of figuring some of this stuff out, or like you're down the rabbit hole, you know, because what I might share with you is different based on that. Okay, so you're eating red meat. Great. So I love to include organ meat. There's a brand I love to share with people if you're in the US called Force of Nature, and they have ancestral blends with their bison and with their beef where they also put organs in. And it's really a better source, an even like amped up source for iron. Now, spleen would be the very best if you have like a local butcher and they can do some ground meat where they add spleen in. And if you do it with ground meat, you don't taste it as much. So it's not like a super offensive taste necessarily. So just know that. But I would consider something like that. You also want to make sure you're getting a lot of vitamin C in your diet. So a lot of people think of like, oh, oranges, but actually kiwis are fantastic. Bell peppers are fantastic. And I also am a fan of vitamin C supplementation. It's one of the cheapest, most straightforward supplements you can get that can benefit a lot of us. Now, some people struggle with the, people would say more synthetic, which is ascorbic acid. If you're someone who struggles with ascorbic acid, then that requires further questioning, because I just think there's a lot of great data on it, which data is not necessarily the be all end all. And a lot of my mentors have shared this with me, and I've seen in practice too, where like vitamin C is incredible. It helps with that iron absorption. So pairing vitamin C with your iron rich foods like grass-fed beef is a really smart choice. And then also making sure you're not doing dairy when you're eating that iron rich food is something you could consider doing. But also know, if you have low iron, you also need to consider, what's the health of my gut like? What's going on with my cortisol hormones? Am I mega stressed and my gut is really dysfunctional? I'm not going to have like a prayer even to absorb things well, because that's going to be super disruptive and you have to solve that too. So that's what I have to share with low iron stuff, and happy to clarify any of that too. So Kate asked, can antidepressants such as Wellbutrin mess with your cortisol? Absolutely. So Wellbutrin is lovingly referred to by some people as prescription speed. So that should tell you something. So any medication we're taking that can really upregulate, right, neurotransmitter, our body's perception of neurotransmitters, right, which Wellbutrin does. And it's a non-traditional SSRI. And again, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just, right, what I understand and what I know from conversations with clients. I also, for a very short time after I went through my divorce years ago, took Wellbutrin for a little bit because I really needed an extra boost to just get out of that hole, is just full transparency. So I'm not like anti-medication, right? But I want us to always be mindful of like when we're using it, why we're using it, how long we plan to use it, and what we're doing to try to solve the underlying issue, I think is really important. So yeah, Wellbutrin is gas on the fire in my opinion. And so I have seen clients who are on these medications and looked at their 24-hour cortisol test, which if you're gonna look at cortisol, you need to know this. Looking at blood one moment in time is trash garbage. It tells us literally just, oh, on Monday at 9 a.m., this is where your cortisol was. So we can kind of use that if we think something really drastic and crazy and wild is going on in your body, like disease. Literally, I have a client who has Addison's disease where she makes no cortisol, 0, right? And when they first were diagnosing that, they ran her blood cortisol in the morning and they saw, not a lot of cortisol. This is a problem, right? But other than that, a one-time blood draw of cortisol is not super helpful. So I use a 24-hour cortisol test with my clients that you collect at home with saliva or urine, and you collect multiple times through the day and the next morning. And that shows us your pattern, because cortisol is meant to be high at certain times of the day and low at certain times of the day. So a lot of people actually don't have purely high cortisol. They're not high cortisol all day long. And a lot of people too are not purely just super low cortisol all day long, although that's more common than all high all time. So what ends up happening is you have dysregulation. So you're high at the wrong time, you're low at the wrong time, and eventually over time you get lower and lower kind of, and the swings can feel more drastic even though actually they're not. So that's when I love using a 24-hour cortisol test, and it could be helpful if you're somebody who is using a medication and you're like, how is this affecting me? And you plan to stay on the medication, especially looking at your 24-hour cortisol would be really helpful to maybe help you make decisions. So that's just something to think about. And I have an amazing upgrade for my Black Friday bundle that includes my Balanced Cortisol Academy, which is a fantastic, incredible course that has produced just the most amazing results for people when it comes to mood issues, when it comes to energy issues, when it comes to inflammation, when it comes to weight after being super stalled and trying everything, This course is incredible. And so it's part of my Black Friday bundle. And then as an option, you can upgrade and actually add 24-hour cortisol test and a one-on-one visit with me. Plus, I'm doing a bonus for anybody who pays in full where I'm going to do a fat loss masterclass to chat even more in the weeds about fat loss and things that you can adjust and do. I lost track of what I was doing, y'all, because I'm getting ready. I got to record some videos, right? So I just wanted to make sure you all knew about that and make sure you're on my email list. If you're not sure if you are, you can always send me a message and be like, hey, here's my email address. Am I on your list? You can also head to my link in bio and get my cortisol roadmap. It's completely free. When you get that, you'll be added to my email list. So either one of those options is great. But my Black Friday special is literally only going to be available Thursday and Friday next week. So it's a Black Friday special. I'm seeing a lot of people with these Black Friday specials that are done tomorrow. No, we're doing real Black Friday over here. You know what I mean? So anyways, I hope that's helpful. And let me know if you want to clarify anything. And as folks are joining, I would love if you have questions related to cortisol, related to mood, related to energy, related to your hormones. I would love to support you and be of service right now and answer questions and to let you know where I orient from. I'm board certified in holistic nutrition. I'm certified in functional medicine so that I can read, interpret, order lab work and understand how that fits in to bodies and optimizing how bodies function. And we're really all in the business and all in the space and in this part of the universe, my corner of the universe. We're all about how we can optimize how your body functions, knowing that your whole body is connected, everything matters, it's the whole picture, and we really orient to being smart and strategic about where we focus our energy on things that are going to impact you long term and not just resolve a symptom like whack-a-mole style. Okay, so love it. Seeing great questions come in. Okay, so I see somebody saying starting Lexapro and possibly HRT soon, so confusing. Yeah, join my email list, Celeste. You sound like a number of women I've worked with, and I'd love to support you, and I really think the Black Friday bundle would be so amazing for you, whether or not you feel like you need the medication, for the record. No matter what, medications cannot do Herculean things long term. And so, right, there may be a time where you need something like I did when I was going through my divorce 8 years ago. I needed a little antidepressant to help me get out of the hole because it was a really, really hard time, right? But I had a plan and I was working on things behind the scenes and underneath. I was working on my diet. I was working on my exercise. I was working on my day-to-day habits. I was paying attention to my supplements and not just any, right? Specific. So that's what I teach you. And I think you could really use that support. Yeah. Okay, Laura says, I was just told I have Hashimotos. I've been hypoallergenic for 10 years. Any suggestions? Many. Hashis is one of my specialty areas. I have hypothyroidism, so I'm very, very familiar with low thyroid function and frankly, how mismanaged, I can just speak for myself and my clients, how mismanaged the thyroid is typically by doctors. Wow. I saw so many specialists, tried so many different even protocols in the functional medicine community. People have their heads up their asses. They do not recognize the importance of the thyroid and how it interacts with so many other functions in the body, but most especially cortisol. So many women are dealing with Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism that at some point cortisol, stress hormone, stress response was a big part of what push the marble off the top of the hill and kind of led where you are. Now, in order to know exactly why yours developed, we would need to dig in deeper, right? So I would need to look at lab work. I would want to look at your gut, but that should tip you off, right? We would need to look at what's going on with your cortisol. Those are the places to start, right? So start with addressing your cortisol, right? Start with taking care of how you stress about things. Start with using food as medicine to tell your body, hey, like, we're safe, we're good. And if you've had this experience being hypoallergenic, if that wasn't a typo correction, then I would really, really recommend that you focus a lot on gut healing. And that's something I do a ton with clients in my one-on-one practice if you'd like support. But even just starting with, this is just a best practice for any autoimmune condition. If you're not currently avoiding all gluten, if you're not currently, oftentimes we need a time period where we avoid all dairy and not replacing it with a shit ton of nuts, or oats, right? That's not the play. It's replacing it with a lot of other nutrient dense and whole foods. And I really, sometimes when people are really messed up, I do, I call it the soup diet. And we do like a month of just stews and soups and just super warming, nourishing, brothy, gently cooked proteins to like give things a little bit of a break and help their system out a little bit. So that's something you might consider too. Yeah. But the Black Friday bundle, like, not to say it too much, but I really have made a bundle, y'all, that is freaking incredible, would be potentially a great option for you too. So make sure you're on my email list. Yeah. Okay. I will stay on until I'm done with this makeup, and I'm going to go record videos to explain some of the behind the scenes of everything you can get from my Black Friday special. So I probably have time for like one more question or something you all want to know about or learn about as relates to cortisol or mood, feeling anxious, feeling stressed, unable to lose weight, feeling inflamed. I said I was going to talk a little bit about weight loss plateaus, and I got sidetracked here. What I want to say about that though is because like I just posted a video over on Instagram, which if you don't follow me there, you should, just because like we don't know what's happening with TikTok, right? Like we don't, and I'm in the United States. We don't know what's happening. It might be gone next month. So because of that, make sure you follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Marissa Faye Wellness, same username, but find me over there. I just posted like a 3-minute video sharing after I got off a call with a client yesterday who started with my Balanced Cortisol Academy, which is part of my Black Friday bundle, and is now losing weight pretty effortlessly, and saw her anxiety go from on the brink of feeling like she needed medication, like desperate. I was like the last thing she was going to try, and never needed the medication. Feels so good. Feels like she's managing even small stressors that come up. She can diffuse it really easily. Just feeling at peace, feeling excited about what's going on in her professional life and her personal life, feeling more energized, not waking up with a foggy brain. Like, she is feeling fantastic, and also she is losing weight. And she's somebody who really, that's been very, very difficult. And I really, really credit the strategies I share in the Balanced Cortisol Academy and the focus on cortisol, one of our stress hormones, as the key piece of the puzzle that helps someone like her really make these giant leaps and bounds progress after being stalled in a weight loss plateau and feeling like she's trying everything for years. It's so, so important. Y'all, I need new mascara so badly. This is the Thrive mascara. Does anybody else use it? Listen, I try to use as many low toxin products. I keep going back makeup wise to like moderately so products, just because performance matters. Okay. Performance matters. So anyways, I love this mascara. It's a marketed as non-toxic, but it is not non-toxic mascara. But after you've had it for a while, it starts to really clump up, and I am in the like clumpy, gross phase of this too, but I'm holding out for Black Friday because I'm going to buy a couple. Yeah. Okay. Any last questions? One more question I could take if you all have it. And then I'm going to jump off and record some videos for you all that I'm so excited to share. Okay. So I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. So it's been awesome hanging out with you. I love catching up with you. If you're not on my email list, please help me help you, because I give a lot of free info and tips and tricks and all this stuff. You don't have to buy from me if you don't want to, if it doesn't feel like the right match. Join my email list, okay? I'm going to sneeze. I was trying not to mess up my mascara. How'd I do? So anyways, join my email list. You can head to the link in my bio and grab the cortisol roadmap. That'll give you 4 food-based strategies that you've got to make sure are dialed in and in the mix. If you have thyroid stuff, if you have mood stuff, if you have energy stuff, if you have weight stuff, you got to be doing this, okay? So grab that free roadmap, and then you'll be on my email list to get all the info for Black Friday coming up, even including a payment plan that's as low as under $100 a month. So I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, y'all, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll be checking in with a live here again in a couple days.